Lifestyle Show. It's divine. It's your empowerment time.
It's Living a Healthy Lifestyle Show with your favorite holistic health coach, Carrie K.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Living a Healthy Lifestyle Show with your favorite holistic health coach, Carrie K. And I have John Borden on today. And I'm going to read a little bit about his bio. He was an average dude living an average uninspired life until an experience with psilocybin sucked him out of the vortex and self-destruction and helped him to go to a different path of self-discovery. He's an author, award-winning strongman, competitor, ultra marathon runner, globally ranked as an HIIT athlete, personal trainer, and mental health coach, working to make the world a better place, one psilocy a little moment at a time. Welcome to the show, John.
Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, one silly moment at a time, indeed. It's so great to be here and talk with you. I really loved our conversation when we were finding out a little bit about each other, and I'm really happy to share the experience that I went through over the last 2.5, 3 years with you and the audience, and get to the root of some big things that happened in my life and how I got to make all those changes that she recounted in the bio. So happy to be here. Thanks, Carrie.
Oh, you're welcome. So what does your relationship with God look like in your day-to-day? And how has that evolved over time?
Oh, wow. So hopping right into it. Cool. So my relationship with God, we'll kind of start on how it evolved, because I grew up in an Episcopalian household. My mom and I mostly would go to church together on Sunday mornings. I would go to Sunday school. I also went to Catholic grade school from the time I was in preschool at Angels Alley through graduating college at Seton Hall University, was in Catholic school the whole time. But I didn't identify with religion at any point in my life up until I was nearly 30 years old, or actually probably until the point I was 31 years old. I had been turned away from religion at a very young age because of, kind of what I felt was a lot of strife, anger, animosity between religious sects based off something that, we didn't really have proof of who is right at the heart of those conflicts. So I got turned off from religion at a very young age. But then through my experience with psilocybin, I had moment after moment where the presence of God made himself unmistakable to me. And it first came to me when I was 29 years old, and I was going through the transformational experience that's covered in a majority of my book, Your Mindset is Your Reality. And I had a moment where God came to me and said, okay, you know that you're good, you know that you're safe. Now your job's to help people. And that was the first message that I received. And I didn't quite know what that meant. And I spent pretty much all of 2023 trying to figure that out for myself. Excuse me. And at the beginning of 2024, I had, just started a new job. It was a, prestigious title with a company that was promising me to make a whole lot of money. And I felt like it would be my ticket to living the purpose-driven life that I wanted to live. But after doing that for only about 6 weeks, I realized how far off from my path and my desire and my message to help people that it was truly taking me. And so I had this moment of a complete breakdown when I was at the St. Pete Pier. And, Carrie, you and I met here in St. Pete, and St. Pete's absolutely gorgeous. And probably my favorite piece of St. Petersburg is the pier that jettisons out into Tampa Bay. And it's just absolutely gorgeous, whether it's at sunrise, sunset, or at any other point during the day, just filled with people and life. But as I biked there at about 9 o'clock at night on this Thursday night, after playing pickleball with one of my dearest and closest friends who has always had a deep connection with God, I rode down to the pier and I just broke down crying, because I recognized that my life wasn't on the path that I wanted it to be on, and the path that I had envisioned for myself during the moments that I document in my book and talk about so fervently as being the complete life-changing experience that it was. And I broke down crying and crying and crying and just recognizing that I'm on the wrong path. And then I got myself together and I walked my bike around to the front of the end of the pier where there's this grassy sloping hill. And I looked up at the stars and I was, just taking a moment to myself, trying to figure out which ones were stars, which ones were satellites, which ones are alien spaceships. And in that moment, I felt a connection with God that I hadn't felt since I had that moment in the end of 2022. And God came to me and he said, dude, you're in this position because you're not following the intuition that I give you. I've sent you intuition your whole life, and you've chosen not to listen. Are you ready to listen? And so I said, yeah, whatever it is, I'm yours. Tell me what to do. And so the message came to quit my job and to start on a path where I felt like I was really helping people in a more tangible way than I was at that job. So I quit that job the next Monday. I immediately got my certification to start personal training and started on courses to help with my mental health coaching business. And ever since then, God has been showing up at, times when I just need to receive a message. And that intuition just keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps pointing me in the right direction to, whether it's go to a coffee shop and meet someone that's going to completely change my life, or to finally accept an invitation to go to the Entrepreneurial Social Club and meet someone that first day that allows me the opportunity to speak on stage, and the opportunity to meet so many people like yourself, Carrie. So it's been a really beautiful experience. And, um, you know, I, I don't know if you want to get into how that connection with God brought me to my beautiful, loving partner just yet, but
Yeah, you
uh,
can.
okay. So I'll be happy to talk about that. So um, at the beginning of 2024, with my reconnection with God and everything like that, one of the biggest things that I got was, okay, I have loved physical fitness my whole life. And it had really taken a back seat to other things, just messages that I've received from other people saying, oh, you can't do that with your life. Like, okay, exercising is great, but what else is there? And I said, you know what? No, I can help people with this. I can be a personal trainer. I can provide a lot of value to people with that. And so pursuing my own physical excellence has been a big part of that. And on September 7th of last year, I was doing a HIIT competition. That's that HIIT, high intensity interval training. So I was doing a HIIT competition up in Ocala, which is about 2 hours north of St. Pete. And I did that in the morning, and then afterwards drove back home to St. Pete. I met some friends for lunch. One of my friends that couldn't meet for lunch texts us in a group chat that I had just made off some intuition that I received, like, hey, I can't go to lunch, but I'm going to this party later if you guys want to come. And I go, yeah, I'd love to. I just need to go home and nap for a second. I'm exhausted from this competition. I just need to nap, regain my energy, and then I'll be out there probably like 6 o'clock is what I texted in the group chat. So I get home at like, 3 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I can nap for 2 hours, get up, take a shower, get my ass over to this party, have a great time. So I lay down and I can't nap. And that's really odd because I hadn't had any caffeine recently. I had this competition in the morning that was an intense physical competition and was completely exhausted from it. But I'm laying down and I can't nap. And the whole time that I'm trying to nap, I just keep getting this message, don't nap, don't nap, just get up and go to the party. Just get up and go to the party. You're not allowed to nap, just get up and go to the party. And I'm like, that's really weird. So after about 30 minutes of trying to nap, but keep getting that message, I get up, I look at my phone, it's 3:30, and I'm like, okay, I can still nap for at least an hour and get to this party at a good time. I'm gonna lay down, I'm gonna nap, I'm tired, I need to nap. So I lay back down. And as soon as I lay back down, I get, "You're not listening. Get up, go to the party, go to the party, get up, go to the party now, get up, go to the party now." And I sit up in bed like, oh my God, what is going on? And so I got up, I grabbed my phone, I texted my friends, "Hey guys, I'll be there at 4:30. I take a shower, I get myself ready, I get over there at 4:30. I walk in, and 2 minutes after I walk in, I get a tap on the shoulder. "Hey guys, I could use some help taking in some of my musical equipment from the car. Can you help me?" And so me and two of my friends that got there with me go out, help this girl with bringing the equipment out of her car. And then we started talking and started talking and started talking. And 30 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, this is such an incredible conversation, but I'm here to hang out with my friends. Let me go hang out with my friends. But I just knew that there was some insane connection there. And from that moment forward, me and my lovely partner, Thansha, have been completely inseparable. And it's, a connection from God that, had I been the person that I was up until the age of 29, uh, I wouldn't have believed that something like that could actually happen. But having lived it and having experienced the touch of God in that moment, it's just completely undeniable that that's what it was. It was the universe coming to save me from making a mistake for myself and putting me in the right position to find the most incredible connection I've experienced in my life.
Wow, what a beautiful story. What's been the biggest challenge in your life right now, and how do you work through that?
Um, so I would say the biggest challenge that I have right now is, starting a business, having never been an entrepreneur before and just going into it on blind faith. It's provided a lot of learning experience to get myself to the point where I'm able to provide for myself in the way that I would like to and create the type of lifestyle for myself that I would like to. And so that's really been my biggest challenge is, defeating those self-limiting beliefs of, why I can't get sales or why I can't build the client base, and just trusting the messages and intuition I receive and wholeheartedly going for what I know is meant for me.
Wow, that is amazing. And what is finding your purpose brought back into your life, and what is it taken away from?
Man, so what it's taken me away from is very positive because in conjunction with finding my purpose, right? And I know that my purpose is to help others, and doing that through being a good person, being a good listener, being a good coach, and helping people in any way that I can to impart the knowledge that I've gained over my lifetime. Um, and if I didn't find that purpose, I might have been still doing the same things I was doing up until that point, which were really just living for the weekend, like a majority of Americans, working a 9 to 5 and, working to make someone else's dream come true rather than pursuing what really mattered to me. And so there's been a lot of connections that have fallen off with friends that, I kind of recognize were just drinking buddies, people that I'd hang out with, but didn't really have the deep connection that the friends that are currently in my life really do. So that was something that, finding my purpose took away from me. But it has given me so much more because it's given me something to wake up for in the morning. It's given me something to strive for personally and to build for myself. So what it's given to me far exceeds anything that it's taken away from me.
Wow. And what is one piece of advice that you would give to young people?
The biggest thing I could say to young people, and I'm going to act like I'm talking to my nephew right now because my nephew is 19, he's turning 20 this month. And he's in a similar position to where I was, very different tangibly, but similar mentally at that age. Because at that age, like a lot of people, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had no idea, what the real world was actually like. Um, and that's, don't be afraid of failing. Uh, no matter what we do, there isn't really failing. You either win or you learn and you come back stronger. And so having the courage to just jump into something that you think might work for you or you think you might like is really the biggest key to finding out what's meant for you. Because until you, you know, what's the phrase? Until you eat a couple frogs, you don't, or kiss a couple frogs, you don't know where the prince is, something like that.
Mm.
Um, it, it's important to just have the courage to just go for something.
Amen. Wow. So what are you looking forward to in your future with your coaching and all the things that you're doing? Tell us a little bit about your book too. I want to shout out the information to everyone so they can get the book. I know mindset is very, very important. It's one of my first steps in my book that I'm writing. And so tell us a little bit about your book and what inspired you to write your book.
Yeah, well, so the name of the book is Your Mindset is Your Reality, a firsthand account of the positive effects of psilocybin on mental health and addiction. And it really follows my story from the time, the earliest stages of my life and the things that happened as I was a child, and how that led to certain habits being formed throughout the course of my life, including alcohol and cocaine addiction, and an experience with psilocybin mushrooms in 2022 that essentially allowed me to completely rework how I viewed myself and how I viewed my life until that point. And so the story really takes the reader through all of the mental and emotional unraveling that I experienced during that time frame, and discusses how I use that as a jumping point to drive myself forward and really pursue my passions and open up my connection to God and allow that to have its role in my life. So, you know, that's the basis of the book, and that really brings me into, kind of where I see myself going and how I see myself continuing to provide value to the people in my life, is that really I just want to create community. I want to create a sense around me that people become better in my presence. And that's something that's uh, always been a focus of mine. The whole leave people better than you found them type of thing. Um, I find that I have the ability to recognize strength in people that they might not even recognize themselves, and help them bring that out in a way that completely amazes them of their own potential and strength. So my vision for myself and where I see myself going is that I continue to create this community of people that looks to me for strength and guidance, and help to build people up to surprise themselves with just how incredible they are.
Wow. I love that. That is so amazing. And you can take your experiences and your story and help so many people. So give us just a real quick example of somebody that you've helped since you've been through all what you've been through. There has to be somebody out there that you've definitely helped to get through what they're going through. And it's just
Yeah.
amazing.
There's a number of people. One of them actually just left my house 10 minutes before our call. We were having a nice little catch up and going through some, things that she's been experiencing in life. But one of my favorite examples to use and stories to use is a client of mine who was she's a woman in her 50s who has three daughters, and she came to me looking for guidance on maybe just how to approach her relationship with her daughters in a little bit more complete way. And over the time that we talked, we really got to know and understand each other very well. And one of the biggest things that came up consistently was that she had a similar dependence to the one that I had, and I discuss in the book. And at the time we first met, she didn't really understand its effect on her health and the way that her relationships played out. But through and after our experience, I believe it really hit home the type of changes that she needed to make for herself before she could work on the relationships with her kids. And so immediately after our sessions completed, she went to work on herself. Taking more time for herself, being more honest with herself about her health and the things that she's doing too, and with her body. And over that time, her relationships with her kids have continued to get better. One of them she does yoga with regularly and has dinners and meals out with. The other she's going to visit the daughter and the daughter's kids in a short time. And just seeing the growth that she's been able to make over such a short time frame, and this is, about 6 months since we've had her session, to be able to see the growth that she's been able to cultivate in her own life has been such a beautiful experience, and something that just really puts a smile on my face thinking about.
Wow, that you were part of that transformation in someone's life.
Hmm.
And if you hadn't have answered the call of God, like you said, you don't know where you would be. Maybe still lost. A lot of us are lost.
Exactly. If I didn't have the experience that I had, who knows? I put myself in so many situations where I could have ended up dead, whether that be from drugs or getting behind the wheel while drunk or high or what have you. And I just really didn't care about my own well-being or the well-being of the people around me whose decisions, who I affected with my poor decisions. And so just putting myself in a better place and recognizing that there is so much good and joy in the world that I have to be grateful for, has just really put me in a position where I'm able to stop focusing on myself and self-gratification, and uh, put other people in mind. And it's been a really beautiful thing to be able to have that play out for me in such a tangible way.
So it's really interesting how God just woos us and brings us in, and how you had that beautiful time with him, that you were able to really, like he just keeps on, like the voice in your head, like there's a girl, I want you to meet her. This is awesome. I love your story, and I know it's going to inspire a whole lot of people. So shout out your information if you wanted anybody to come do a coaching with you on mental health. If anybody wanted to get your book or talk to you, how would they get in touch with you?
Oh, I appreciate that, Carrie. So, my primary social media is Instagram. I'm at Johnny B. That's JohnnIebe on Instagram. You can feel free to DM me. I'm also on X, Twitter at Psilocybin Fit, Psilocybin Fit. And you can find me on Facebook. I'm John Borden, facebook.com/jborden4. And my book is available on Amazon. I'm wrapping up the audiobook hopefully in the near future. So
Yay!
that should be available soon. And the name of that is Your Mindset is Your Reality, a firsthand account of the positive effects of psilocybin on mental health and addiction.
Wow. And then you're also speaking. Where are you speaking at?
Yeah, so my next speaking engagement is on a panel for the Canadelic Convention in Miami this May. So Canadelic Miami this May.
Wow. So you'll have to get back with us on the dates on that and everything then, John, so we
Yeah,
can put that out there.
let me check. It's a 2-day event. I believe it's the second weekend in May.
Oh, well, we look forward to that. Is it going to be online or anything?
I'm not sure if it's going to be broadcast. My guess is that it would be in some sense, but I don't know exactly how that would be. But it's May 23rd and 24th. I'm not sure which date I'm going to be speaking on just yet.
Okay. And do you have anything else to say on last words before we end the show today?
Well, Carrie, I'm just grateful to you. Thank you for giving me the platform to talk about all of the amazing experiences that have happened in my life over the past couple of years. And, I hope that my message resonates with someone out there, and I'm happy to share it.
It's definitely resonated with me, so that's awesome. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us on Living a Healthy Lifestyle Show, and thank you, John, for being our special guest today. Get out there to Amazon and get your book on mindset as your reality, and find out how you can change and transform your own life to be better, right? All right, everybody. God bless and take care. Until next time on Living a Healthy Lifestyle Show, this is your favorite holistic health coach, Carrie K. God bless.